God's grace and peace to you. I'm Leonie. If you've heard of the church lectionary, you've probably heard a certain, well, I could say mistaken notion, but I'll just go with lie. On the other hand, if you don't know much about the lectionary, I'd better explain. It's a list of Bible readings organized by date so that churches always have something to read during services, and preachers always have something to preach about. Not every Christian church uses it, though many denominations do. It's believed that we adopted it from the Jews, who have their own system for lining up readings on the Sabbath and other important occasions. When Jesus read Isaiah's messianic prophecy in the synagogue, he was handed a scroll, and it was possibly the assigned reading for that day under the Jewish lectionary system. So there are multiple lectionaries for both Jews and Christians, usually on a 1 to 3 year cycle, and in some cases they're put together in a logical manner to show how the scriptures connect. Sounds pretty helpful, right? But people unknowingly spread a lie about it, which I mentioned at the beginning. I've encountered this lie often enough that I want to address it. Someone might say with great confidence that if you follow the lectionary day by day, you will read the entire Bible in 3 years. Plus, you get to match your readings up with the church, and that's cute, like couples t-shirts. The problem is the lectionary does not cover the whole Bible, nor even a majority of our very important Old Testament books.
Were it so easy.
Protestant lectionaries are heavily based on the Roman Catholic lectionary, so I'll give the numbers from a Catholic calculation. Go to church every Sunday for 3 years, and, including the Apocrypha and not counting the Psalms, you will hear 3.7% of the Old Testament, 3.7%, 40.8% of the New Testament. If you have the discipline to read every day, you will only get 13.5% of the Old Testament and 71.5% of the New. Some folks are convinced that just being in church on Sunday, you will eventually hear the whole Bible, and these wild misconceptions are not cleared up by the clergy. Even members of the clergy sometimes spread the bad information. Like I said about devotionals in my previous video, blind reliance on the lectionary promotes apathy. Few have the urge to read the Bible, since many think they're getting all they need one day each week. At church, I read the Bible in a small group. We originally started with 1 chapter a week, but someone asked to read 2, so that we could pack more into our meetings. These are intelligent, good-hearted Christians, some of whom grew up during World War II, and they've lived their whole lives without reading the Bible in context. Now, everyone has heard John 3:16. When the group read 3:18, however, one of our older members noticed it for the first time and was surprised. It's like the book Flatland, where a square only sees in 2 dimensions, but later meets a sphere and becomes aware of the 3rd dimension. Or in the movie The Matrix, when Neo takes a red pill and wakes up from the computer program that was his old life. As we read God's Word, we start to see things in a new light. The Bible is a surprising book. Sometimes it may shock you. Even the tedious parts hold meaning. Most churchgoers don't get to see that side of it because instead of doing their research, they trust the priests to feed them whatever is necessary. The lies told about the lectionary provide the comfort and external motivation that people crave, and it's a relatively easy thing for church leaders to advertise to get their congregation in the Word. And I'm sure many of us at some point tried reading the Bible from beginning to end just to give up halfway through Genesis. No wonder we don't investigate the bold claims that the lectionary is some kind of Bible espresso shot. I will say that the lectionary isn't full of fluff. It comes straight from the Bible and can help churches stay grounded in the Word, while connecting Christians around the world in common learning and worship. But it is not the Bible. It jumps from place to place without giving you context. It is also selective, and priests are even more selective every time they pick a little morsel of the daily reading to write a sermon on. When we made this faith our own, we became responsible for educating ourselves. So please take that responsibility with joy. Let's learn to follow Christ by witnessing everything he did in the Bible. Thank you for watching. Talk to me in the comments and let God's light shine through you.
We must go.